Yes, yes, yes. Once again, my people, them, it's Brother Virtue. I'm here, with my brothers, and I've got TEHUT-9 right now. It's like the third time we collabed now, so it's getting getting infamous and
Yeah,
everything there. I've even sent out no
another.
link, so it's a surprise one for the family. It
Yeah,
was just
man.
a one-time spurting. We were supposed to link up a
Yes.
couple of weeks ago, but you see me. Introduce yourself again to the family, though, my brother.
Yes. Peace, 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 family. What's going on? This is Brother TEHUT-9. I'm here with my brother Virtue, man. I'm real excited about just like sharing with this brother again. This brother is on point. He provides the people with a lot of information, a lot of insightful stuff, and just happy to be back with the family, man. Sharing some information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, man. I'm honored anyway. Uh, what was he gonna talk about today? About culture as law, and we're gonna go into so many different dynamics. But that's the main topic of today that I wanted to really throw and see where we go with it.
Culture is law. That's actually a deep concept, man, in and of itself, because law is really like it's codes. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's codified. The law is a code to that are codes that we use to program each other into certain mindsets, certain activities or restrictions or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what laws do. You notice, like, basically they can't do anything until they make a law for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So culture is law, and culture is basically the cumulative, like, customs, beliefs, way of life for different groups of people. So everybody claims that they have a culture. You go to Jamaica, there's the Jamaican culture. You go to England, you have the culture of the people in England. You go to America, you have the and even within all those different places, they have different cultures among the different groups of people that make up the collective. You know what I mean? So we say the Jamaican culture, but the Jamaican culture is not homogenous. It's not just one thing where everybody, like, people think all Jamaicans smoke, all Jamaicans are Rasta, all Jamaicans are this, or no. We are as diverse as all the people of the whole entire planet.
Exactly.
Even in the small island there. So you have different kinds of people everywhere. You say same thing with Africa. You go to Africa, everybody doesn't, because people, a lot of times, our people especially, we sometimes get so absorbed into just who we are, or as we come into to find out information about who we are, that we'll claim certain things about ourselves and just completely ignore others, or reject it. Like, I've heard people from time to time argue and sometimes denounce things that were done outside of Africa. And I'm like, wait a second. Black people didn't just start and stop in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Africa is the throne, one of the thrones from which we rule the home, which is the whole entire planet. So we are all over. So if it didn't happen outside, if something happened in Europe, or something happened in the Caribbean, or something happened in South America or Asia, like, oh well, if it didn't happen, if it wasn't done inside Africa, we don't care. But these people are our children. So it's our culture. It's one whole culture. The whole thing is ours. Everything. We should not just claim one part and ignore the rest, because you're surrendering, like, if Africa is like 10% of the world, right? Let's just give it a number, 10%. That means you're claiming 10% and giving up 90% of every of the stuff that still belongs to you. It belongs to you. The first Chinese were black. The first Japanese were black. The first Americans were black. The first Europeans were black. It's all ours. So as a culture, our culture is very, very huge and very, very vast. But at the same time, I understand, because so much has been done to make us hate ourselves and make us look on ourselves in disparaging ways, that we kind of overdo it when we start re-engaging ourselves with pride. You know what I'm saying? But we have our culture is huge. Our culture is huge, and so if when you're talking about culture as law, you know, it's very, very deep, because there's so much culture, there's so much of our culture that we are not embracing. You know what I'm saying? And even though the stuff that we are embracing, we're embracing it in a superficial way.
Exactly.
We'll embrace all the you know, the names, you know, so everybody has an African name now, or we'll embrace the onk, or you know what I mean, or something like that. But we don't embrace the whole culture. The whole culture is vast. There's a culture of knowledge that we need to embrace, you know, because the first instruments for the first thoughts that lay the foundation for writing, mathematics, all the sciences is ours. So today, when you see kids get up and they say, "Oh, you know, I hate math because it's so hard," you could see the disconnection from the culture.
And
you see what I'm saying?
And that's what's mad though, because it's like, even if you claim one culture, it's sort of like, as you said, it will lock you off from other cultures. So right away, once you claim a culture, it already separates you. And in my understanding, like how you were saying, we was all over the world, so we wouldn't really see it like that's a different culture over there. We'll understand they do things different because their environment's different. We understood that this is simple. Like their environment's different, they're gonna do their things different. But saying that they're a different culture to us over here, I don't think so. It's like, to me, it's like animal culture and human culture. It's like we're all in this ecosystem together, sort of thing. But to me, it's like these people, they don't see it as an ecosystem. They see it as like how you were saying earlier on, like a homogenous or whatever. Like we just got a group of people and they just come together and that's it. And then another group of people come together and that's it. And that's how we do it. But it's not like that. It's not like that at all, because we're in an ecosystem of everything, like birds, bees, you know, like that, plant life, crystals, everything. And we're all in that culture too. But it's like they forget about that whole culture. And now we're having a human culture. And it's like, what? Humans don't even know who they are. So like, how are you going to say what your culture is? And you don't even know who you are, regardless of being what these people have now said, you're from Africa or you're from wherever. These things, to me, amount to nothing. Because I'm not from Africa in any way. And I'm not from these things. I was here way before. My thought was here way before all of these planets, all of these things. So when you come, it's crazy. As I say, like, that's why when I have conversations with a lot of people, they think that I'm like, I think I know it too, or I know too much. And they think I'm arrogant in the way how I'm saying it, and I'm narcissistic in the way I'm saying it. Like, but I'm just trying to explain to them, like, you can't even base yourself on even that culture. You can't even base yourself on a black culture, because you never asked to be black. Unless you asked to be black. If you told me you knew, you writ down before your life, I want to be black, then I could say, well, cool. But unless you did that, you can't even claim a black culture, because that has nothing to do with you. You was given that. You was given that as a privilege, and you should accept that as a privilege, that you can live in certain places that other people can't. Move on. As I said, everywhere's different. Everywhere's going to have their own different. Some's going to be high ground. Some people can't live up in altitudes. It's harder to breathe. It's harder to whatever. Some people can't live underneath the water. Like, come on, like this, as I said, it really baffles my head when I hear certain beings talk. And I'm like, yo, you lot are really taking the 10%. As you said, you're really actually taking this 10%. You want 10% of the 100. I want the whole thing. I keep on telling people, I want the whole thing. I'm here for the whole thing. I'm here for all the experience, all of it. I'm not trying to miss a day, a second. That's why you even asked me before, yo, you're up at 11, you don't sleep in them thing there. I'm like, I ain't trying to miss out. I came here for a reason. Do you know how many times I've been sleeping for so long?
Hey, what you just said? You just said a mindful, brother. A mindful. That's what I'm gonna call it. Because people hear that, and some people misconstrue that. Some would even go as far as to say that you know, is as if that you don't want to claim blackness or whatever, but it's beyond that. It is way beyond that, because like, you know, we are before the beginning, you know what I mean, and we'll be after. There's no ending for us, like, you know, before that's how far back we go, you know what I mean. We're before and before that. You know, so it's deep, man. I mean, like, I look at everything with certain, but in an analogous way, where you could compare us like the computer. That's the kind of technology we are, you know, because we are a technology. Guys, if you whether you understand it or not, you are a technology. The wind is technology, the sun is technology, the water is technology. You see what I'm saying? This is technology. This is the real technology, not the cell phone, not the car, not the plane. You know, yeah, that's cute, but you are the real technology. You see what I'm saying? You are the supercomputer. You understand what I'm saying? And until people can begin to process and understand that, then they won't even ask the relevant questions.
Exactly.
You know, who is or what are we running on? What is the operating system that all of us is running on? You understand what I'm saying? What is it?
What is the processing system?
To me, the operating system is nature. You understand what I'm saying? It's nature. So nature, if you study nature, it doesn't make one kind of tree. It makes many different kinds of trees. It doesn't make one kind of bird. It makes many different kinds of birds, many different kinds of everything, many different kinds of human beings. So, you know, once you understand that what nature is doing, you now have to fall in line, because you are in nature. You are a part of nature. You are nature. Nature is in you. The same nature that's governing everything is the same nature that people say you have. Somebody say you have a, you know, your nature is different from, yeah, that nature is the same nature we're talking about. It is no different. You see what I'm saying? So people at the level that we are right now, we have been under, it's the best word I can use for it is a spell. We have been under a spell, and it's been, I don't know if it's a spell that nature, you know, naturally placed on us because of the kind of technology we are. We are literally gods, right? You know, you're a god, I'm a god. That's what we are. But until we you know, if we come into that the full understanding of that, and understand that, look, everything that you think can become real instantly. You see what I'm saying? Everything you think can be, is because it's already happening. Nature has set us in a way, right? Where the other day I was talking to someone about money. I made a post about money and how it's a good thing that the sun and the, you know, the earth and the wind and the waters aren't charging us for what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's a good thing they don't need money to do what they do. The sun just does what it does. It is man, on the other hand, now, who is using money to do things, right? Or to create things, or not even to create things, because money doesn't create or do anything. It's still you that's doing and creating everything. But the money is now an incentive. So I look at it as if nature, right? Nature gave us this thing, right? This incentive, so we could see what we could do. Literally. It's showing you every potential, every possibility that you can do, because you look around outside your window or anywhere in the world and you see all these high-rise buildings, and you have miles and millions of miles of cable running under the ground above your head. You have planes, you have submarines that go to the depth of the ocean, you have satellites, you know, going around orbiting the earth. You have all this stuff that we have done, right? And people don't believe and can't even conceive that, look, you could take money out of the equation, you could still do the same things.
Yeah.
Money is not necessary. But nature had to show you what you could do. So, you know what I mean? Because if I say, go ahead and do this, do that, you know, most people, oh, how much you gonna pay me? You see what I'm saying? So they won't move. They're not motivated unless there's some kind of like money or exchange of money involved. So now people take money and say, well, money is just an instrument for trade. No, money, it is for trade, but we're really and truly, we're the ones trading, and we're trading what we create from the mind. You understand what I'm saying? Because ultimately we are thoughts. So as thoughts, once we access the mind, right, we can manifest whatever we think. So you take the whole world as it is, and now you take out money at the equation. So now, right, I say I want a car. I think, I want a car. Everybody that's building cars, I just go get a car. It's nothing for me to give you, right? Because the money that I would give you for that car, what is the car man going to do with it? Nothing. He's going to use it to buy a house. He's going to use it to buy food. So guess what? Go get the food. The people who are growing the food, go ahead. The food is right there. Because once you think it is yours, you don't need the money. You understand what I'm saying? Just go get it. Food, house. All the people are building houses. What are they building houses for? To sell them, to make money, right? But if there's no money now, right? What were you going to do with the money if you got it? You're just going to use it to buy, go get the food. So the farmer now, right, who's growing the food, what is he growing the food for? For money. What does he need the money for? To buy more stuff, more equipment, to get a bigger house. So go ahead. We'll build you a bigger house. You have unlimited anything you want. You want equipment? Boom. We will build the equipment. We'll manifest it. Because that's what thoughts do. Thoughts manifest into reality. You see what I'm saying? So all of this stuff is happening already, but because of money, we're being controlled and manipulated. If there was no money, we would see that we're just thoughts and we could manifest anything that we think.
It's so deep. It's because somebody wants to be above you. Somebody wants to actually be, yo, you have to come to me. Like, because we believe in a God.
But just think about it.
Of ourselves.
All you have to do is think about it, right? Whatever if I give you a lot of money right now, right? You're gonna give it back to somebody else, ultimately. Because when you die, you can't take it with you. So it was only to get things that you can already get. Nature has already given you all the stuff.
Everything.
You are the one creating the stuff that you're buying with the money. So ultimately, you're buying what you're already creating for free. For free. And that's so if you take the money out of the equation, right? All you have left is just your thoughts. And basically anything you think, right? So if everything would come down to how you think now. So if you think you deserve a big house, that's what you'll think for. And then you could go get it. No charge.
Yeah, that's
but
how
you think you deserve a small house, then guess what? That's what you will get. You see what I'm saying? You want a car? There'd be no suffering. There'd be nobody would be usurping each other and taking, because there's nothing to, you know what I mean? Anything you think you can have. But because of money, that's what's keeping us. That's one of the things that's holding us back so much as a culture. You see what I'm saying? Because if you just look at it, if I give you $100, right? You're gonna say I have $100 now that I could use to buy some gas. But if you went to the gas station and just pumped the gas, right, without paying for, without no need to because there was no money. So the gas is just there because you have a car. Your car needs the gas. You need a road, so we just build the roads. Whatever we need, and that's what happens. They say necessity is the mother of all invention. So when things became necessary, we invented stuff from our minds. You see what I'm saying? Or from our access to the mind. So once they placed money in between how we think and what we could do, then they started controlling us.
Yeah, they made it scarce. They made us.
Yes, they started controlling us because only about 1% holds about 95% of the wealth. You see what I'm saying? That just goes to show you that the rest of us are being controlled by whoever has the most of this thing called money, which doesn't do anything. Because once you know how to do something, what does that tell you? Once you know how to do something, you know how to do it. You know how to drive, you know how to drive. You know how to cook, you know how to cook. You don't need money to know how to cook. You don't need money to drive. You don't need money to build a house. You don't need money to build a car or to take stuff out the ground and turn it into tools. You don't need none of it. You just need to know how to do it. And once you know how to do it, you know how to do it. And that is the magic. That is the thing that human beings on this whole entire planet are enslaved by. You see what I'm saying? It's a mentality. They have they have used money to control us on every level. And when people watch this interview, a lot of them will be like, they'll say silly things like, okay, so if money doesn't mean it, why don't you just give away yours and this? Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And it becomes silly and simple-minded like that, because like they can't conceive, they can't even think of a world where there is no money.
Yeah, resource-based economy.
Manipulation, where whatever you think, right, you can have. Because it's that powerful. It's that powerful. The whole world as it is right now. If you just took out money, ripped it out of the minds of everybody where they never met, there's no memory of it, and they were still doing everything. People were still building houses, building businesses, right? Remember, everybody that's doing these things is doing it to get money. Yeah. But what do they need the money for? They need the money for food. They need the money for shelter. So what? We're going to give you all of these things. All of us as a collective is the mind, right? So as the collective mind, whatever you think, we're going to make it real. We're going to create, we're going to manifest it. So you want a house, we're going to build your house. Because there's a lot of people are already building houses, right? So imagine all the houses that are available on the market that's being built right now. There'd be no homelessness. There'd be no homelessness. No need for you to feel less than the person who live. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have that control. You don't have that manipulation anymore.
It's true. And that's what, as I said, it's just their mindset. I think
it's a spell. It's a spell. It's a spell.
I think it's laziness too, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say laziness. I say laziness, man.
Yeah, but laziness can be a spell. There's so many spells that we're under. You see what I'm saying? Like even with words, you take words, and you know how when you spell words, that's what you do. But we don't realize that's what we do when we speak or write. We're spelling words, right? So I'll give you one example. This is probably going to be controversial, but I want to state this so people can grasp what I mean. Nigger, right? And Nigga is two different things. Two different spells. The spelling changes the spell.
True.
You see what I'm saying? Just like, I'm going to give you another example. Know and No. They sound the same, but two different things. You see what I'm saying? The spelling changes the spell. So this is where defining yourself becomes important. Becomes very important to define yourself. So, some people say, like you were saying earlier, if you just stop at Africa and stop at being, I'm from Africa, all right, you're defining yourself based off of that. So you're going to be stuck there. You on the other hand is going beyond that, right? And there's nothing wrong, because there has to be a point where, I mean, if Africa is the beginning, what was before it? You see what I'm saying? Because you have ultimately, when we break down ourselves, and we've done this several times on your program, where we go reverse everything and show that, really and truly, you have no beginning. You can't pinpoint where your beginning is, because if you had a mother and a father, and they had a mother and a father, and you keep on going back and keep on going back, ultimately you're going to come to a point where even if it's a monkey, where did the monkey come from? And where did the thing the monkey came from? And where did that thing come from? You see what I'm saying? Where? If we go back to the gases, where did the gases come from? You understand what I'm saying? You get to the place where you just have to surrender that it's nature or God, whatever you want to call it, right? And so if that's what it is, then that's what you are.
Exactly.
You see
that's why the ending part of this, even though the beginning's called law is culture is law, the ending part is I'm a being.
You're a being.
That's the most I could like I'm a
and what do beings do? Beings just continue being. It's right there in the word. Being. I'm a being. I'm being. So if I, as long as I'm being, I've always been here. I've never not been here.
It's gonna be. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's heavy. Other people use, like, I'll say I'm a thought.
Yeah, I'm a thought that.
Right? A thought that thinks, and then I look at thoughts. A thought that thinks means that I'm a thought that have thoughts. right? But people like to say your thoughts, because you have thoughts, you're a mind. You have a mind, right? Like people are like, oh, I have my own mind and da da da. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't have your own mind. You have access to the mind.
Yeah.
The mind is the all. That's why the ancestor says all is mind.
All is mental. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All is mind, not your mind and my mind, just the mind. And all of us have access to it. But some of us have more access to it. You see what I'm saying? That's what we were talking about earlier with the upload and the download and the updates, right? Depending on how you if you are free, you have come free from under the spell that's meant to limit and control your thinking, right? To have you looking at things one way, because a lot of times as you begin to unlock, you look back at your life and you say, damn man, why did I not see this all along? How could I was so foolish? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's simple.
It's a spell.
I heard something like, even with the spelling thing, I heard somebody say something about Lucifer. And then the way how he broke it down, he was like, Lucifer. And I was like, what is he trying to say?
Lucifer, the cipher.
No, he said lose the fear. Lose fear.
Lose the fear.
Like, that's what it is. But I was like, oh shit, I wasn't even hearing it like that. Like, you know, like, but in words, there's so many different dynamics and angles.
Yeah.
There's so many different angles on each word. So, as you said, it is definitely going to be a spell, because it's going to keep you in that understanding.
That's what it is. It's got because you think with sounds and words and and images and all of that, right?
Exactly.
So someone programs you just like a computer, right? You can, and everything is designed in this society to program. Television program, radio program, school program. You see what I'm saying? It's all programs designed. Why are they programming you? And how do they effectively program you? They can't just program you, as an individual like that. They program your parents. And they program your parents' so it's an effective process.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? By the time you come out, before you even come out the womb, your mama, your dad, they probably taking you to church. They praying 3-4 times a day. They singing all this crazy songs. They and they absorbing all the different stuff that's been pushed on them to believe that these people are better and these people are worse and this and that, and you know what I'm saying? So to this day, we still walk around with all these weird programs that sometimes reflect, how messed up our mentality. When you hear people talk, like I was in Jamaica, and people in Jamaica, some people in Jamaica, and here in America too, because it's I'm sure, and even probably in England where you are, where they'll say, oh, she got pretty hair. You hear stuff all the time, right? And pretty eyes. I mean, these are like, it's like, so if her hair is pretty, what is your hair then? But they're not even thinking about it like that. They just say it. Because it's a description. Oh man, she's so pretty. She got pretty hair, and if they have a baby with somebody who's light, the baby's so pretty, a pretty baby. You know what I'm saying? So if that baby's pretty, all right, because nature is set up to give you comparison and contrast. So if you're gonna say, this is right, you have to know where left is. You're saying this is up, you got to know where down is. If you're saying something is pretty, then you are basically, you're already telling yourself that whatever is opposite of this is not pretty.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Good.
So it's a program, and it takes a while for people to catch on and figure out, that these things are happening to them, and they'll argue with you. They'll, it will degrade itself into name calling and all kinds of stuff, and sometimes you just gotta leave it alone. You just gotta leave it alone, man.
I'll be calling people drones nowadays in my head. I'm like, these drones. These drones are just like, yo, how are these drones just walking around?
I just look at them as technology, man. It's all technology, you know what I mean?
It's definite technology.
And we just gotta understand that as technology, as the highest technology that is, because on this planet, you know, not to get into the whole racial thing or whatever, because sometimes people get thrown off when you talk race, but you know, and race is really a social construct. Everybody on this planet is our children. Every single person, the white man, the Asian, the East Indian, all of them are ours, whether they want to accept it or not, whether we want to accept it or not.
Exactly.
So, and we all have different things that we contribute to the fabric of, you know, the whole thing.
Exactly.
We all, you know, we all here to contribute different things. Now, the history is very, very interesting because, like I said, it all, you know, everything begins somewhere. Like this time that we're living in is going to be the foundation for times to come. So we're going to look, just like we're looking back sometime 5, 6, 10,000 years on history that happened. There's going to come a time we're going to look back to this time. You see what I'm saying? And this time, what we're doing right now is so important because we are basically building the future. We're building the future. We're always building because we're beings. So we're always being and always becoming.
Exactly.
You know? The ancients described what we call God as the self-existing being that became by its own becoming. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we're doing. We're constantly becoming, constantly being. So as that kind of technology, like we have to be very, very careful, and we can really build the world that we want to live in. You know what I mean? You can build a life that you want to live in. Like, how old are you right now?
31.
31. Yeah, you could build the life you want to be at in the next 10 years. So the next 10 years, you could decide, you know what? I'm gonna be a reader. I'm gonna be a great videographer. I'm gonna be a scientist. So you start preparing, you start laying the foundation for that from today. So by the time you get to 10 years time, at 41, we start talking back. You know what I mean? You are whatever you built yourself to be. And you're gonna build, whether you're doing it actively or inactively, you're building yourself to be something. You're
always becoming something. That's what our brother Fonzo says.
Yeah, some people are building themselves to be nobodies, to be to be very good at it too.
Yeah, it's not a nobody, but it's
but you understand what I mean.
Yeah, being a part of somebody else's ideas.
What I mean by that is like, all right, you take a lot of people, right? Not a lot of people, even say a select group of people, and sometimes you just ask them simple questions like, "What are you doing? You know, what are you thinking?" And the answer, you know, nothing. So they're not thinking nothing and they're not doing nothing.
Yeah,
they ask them those questions. They're not thinking nothing. They're not doing nothing. Now, whatever you do over and over again, guess what happens? You become very, very good at it. So if every day you're going to the gym and you're lifting weights, you're going to get good at it. If every day you're reading, you're going to get good at it. If every day you're doing nothing, you're going to get good at it. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna get so good at it that you're gonna, you know what I mean? The whole world will pass you by and you'll be like, yeah, man, I just been chilling, man. What you been chilling doing? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these things are things that now when you come into the knowledge of like, I want to say self, but that's another conversation, because knowledge of self is a deep thing. And I think a lot of people have that whole thing misconstrued, you know, because it's a trigger word. You know what I mean? It's a trigger phrase, really. They say, oh, you got to get knowledge yourself. Automatically, everybody starts, oh, yeah, I need to know my history. So, yeah, you know what I mean? It becomes about, okay, you know, we wasn't just slaves, we're kings and queens. And they'll say the same typical shit, right? They say the same typical stuff. Oh, we were kings and queens. Who were kings and queens? Everybody wasn't a king and a queen. You know what I'm saying? They quote some facts or some events that happened in history, and everybody's to believe that you have knowledge yourself. No, you are unique technology. What are you here to do? What is, you know, do you know yourself? Do you know what you can do? Do you have any idea what you can do?
Knowledge yourself. What is your purpose?
It's such a deep thing, right? Because yourself. The self, it says knowledge of self. What is self? Is self you? No. Self
Hey,
is not you.
I asked somebody the other day, "Are you your thoughts?" I said, "Are you your thoughts?" And then the person, like the person was like, "What do you mean? Am I my thoughts?" And I'm like, "Are you your thoughts?" And they're like, "Yes, of course I'm my thoughts." I said, "Oh my days, I say I just left him, like
Hey,
I
self
just
is
walked
not you.
away.
Self is the whole thing. And that's why all of us, like we say self, ourself, myself, yourself, that, but self is the whole thing, right? Because and then it can be broken down to try to explain certain aspects of like how we look at each other, like we say, the higher self and the lower self. You know what I'm saying? But the end of the day, self is the whole thing. And that's what you got to get knowledge of, the whole thing. You got to get knowledge of the whole thing. You have to know the knowledge to know. It's not just history. You see what I'm saying? Do you know how to plant food and grow food? Do you know, what you know how to look at the stars and understand where you are and what time it is? Like, we have so much. That's why you're never gonna come to a point where, you're just full. Because there's so much. There's so much. There's so much. You know what I mean? And really and truly, you are the embodiment of it all. You are the microcosm of the macrocosm. Everything that's happening outside is happening inside. Everything. Cars and people crashing and fighting is the same thing happening inside you. Trucks delivering stuff all across the place, same thing happening inside you. You know what I mean? Business is here, business is there, same thing. You have corporations inside of your body as organs and major cell groups.
You just said organs, organizations.
There you go. The whole thing.
The whole
entire thing. So to know yourself is not just to know history alone. It's to know the whole thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's where culture comes in. Like,
yeah, that's where culture comes in.
Yeah, they've implemented and put in culture here, and like, well, when you know who the history is, that's going to be your culture.
Because what happened is right now the culture in the world, the dominant culture in the world that's pushed that basically has encapsulated everybody is the European culture, right? Which is a culture, that I think because they're such a young people, you know what I mean, and sometimes youth or young or arrogant, think they know everything, you know what I mean, but they don't know everything. They're not pacing themselves. They're so afraid right now of losing what they think belongs to them when it doesn't belong to any of us.
Anything, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It belongs to all of us. The whole earth belongs to all of us. But everything has as the whole thing is set up to run a certain way. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's not the moon that's out there during the daytime shining on you.
Yeah, seasons. Everyone's got seasons. Everything's got a season.
So the sun does its job, the moon does its job, the wind does its job. You understand what I'm saying? Black people on this planet, we have a job to do. It's our job to run the earth. Our job. You understand what I'm saying? It's our job to run the earth. And if we don't get off our asses and do what we're supposed to do, because the earth is a system, just like your body. Remember, I tell you, everything that's outside is also inside, right? So if you get a virus in your body right now, right, your body will automatically start to fight that virus, right? It will send white blood cells or whatever to try to attack it, and you take antibodies. But if you just ignore it, it's like, man, I'm just going to sit it out, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Just like the world is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. The weather is now messed up. Everything is off course, right? Nature, the nature in you, it's like, look, your body, we have to fix whatever is in it. We got to get it out. That's why your temperature goes up and down, because nature's about balance. So once something is inside of you that's thrown off the balance, you have to get rid of it. And if you don't get rid of it in time, guess what nature will do? It will kill you.
Yeah, shut down.
Just to get rid of the very thing that is inside you. You see what I'm saying? It's because it's still going to serve the purpose. Whatever is causing you to be out of balance, if you don't get rid of it, your body's going to die. Just to get rid of that thing. The earth is off balance right now. Everything is out of sync right now. And it's primarily because of these people and some of the things that they've done and are still doing. And if we don't stop them, right? And I'm not talking no crazy violence.
Yeah, madness. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking real.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we have to stop them.
You outthink them. You outthink them, innit?
It's not even about thinking. I'm just talking straight. We have to stop them. Because they are destroying the planet. You understand what I'm saying? They're destroying the planet. And if they destroy the planet, if we don't stop them, nature is going to destroy the whole thing just to get rid of them. It's going to kill everybody just to get rid of them. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? That's how serious it is. So people can't just sit by and say, oh, you know, I don't care if they're spraying the skies and if they're cutting down all the trees and if they're killing all the animals and if they're doing this and if they're doing that and all this radiation. Nobody, I don't care. It's because as long as I got some money and I got my I'm good. No, we have to stop them because just because it may be affecting them because it's affecting them too. The sun is fighting back. And they're dying in droves from skin cancer and all different kind of things, right? But
everything. It's killing even black people with skin cancer nowadays.
Even black people too, but more of them because of the fact that how the exterior is set up.
Yeah,
they're gonna be more susceptible to that. But black people too, of course, black people too can be affected, but not in the same, not
in the heavy, in the higher amount.
Because the thing with black people is this: the people we call black is. There is no one strict definition to say what black is. And this is where a lot of times when you have a big thinker like myself putting out ideas, right?
Yeah, they're
people who are narrow-minded and sometimes blind, completely blind to the very things that they see every day, right? They can't see it because right here in America and probably right there in London or England, wherever you are, right? And in other parts of the world, you have black people who have straight hair, straight nose, light skin, colored eyes, all different stuff, right? And we call them black. But when you look at when you take those same features, right? And you say, well, the people that they call the Native Americans are black people. Oh no! You're trying to appropriate their culture. But wait a second. This person in America that's walking around with me every day, right? Who looks just like that, we say he's black. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is all these people are our children and we have a big family, right? And if you was to even take all the black people right here in America, right? And you took all the light-skinned people out and you say, boom, that's your group. And you took all the people with straight hair out and you say, that's your group. And you take all the people that look like me and you and say, that's your group. And you take all the different variety of people, some with big bones, some very skinny, some very tall, some very short, and you put them in separate groups, right? And left them alone to develop their own thing or whatever, right? Then it would be the same thing what we're looking at today. When we're looking at people who are saying they're native this and they're native that. No, you're black. They're black people. Because I could show you people in East India with straight hair with darker than me and you. Are they not black?
Easy.
Is black only your hair? Is black only your skin? Is black only your facial features? What is black exactly? Because if that's black, then I guess you'd say a lot of people wouldn't fit that fit the definition for what black is. But we look at people like Steph Curry. Is he black or not? He'd say he's black, right? So you're gonna tell him he's not black?
That's why I'm not even on the color thing no more. I'm like, yo, that's why I say with IMU, I roll with the IMU sort of thing. Because as I said earlier on, none of us chose our color. None of us. I don't care who it is on this planet. None of us chose our color. And
the thing with choice is that, I mean, like as far as like if we chose this color or not, it's possible we did. Because like I said, we are a technology, right? And you may not be conscious of like where you're coming from, how far back you're coming from. So just look at, like I said, we start from today. And right now we're building the future. So millions and millions of years ago, when we were starting from there, we was building this future. You see what I'm saying? So we had to make certain choices to determine how this future is going to turn out. Just like today, we're making certain choices to determine how the next future, the future 1,000 years from now is going to turn out. Whether we are conscious of it or not. Because we're always being. You see what I'm saying? But as far as like dwelling on the whole notion of color and race and all of that, like, you know, some of that, a lot of that is about division, to be honest with you. But because so much damage has been done to the operating to our system, I'll put it like that, right? So much damage has been done to our system. Like now we are like, we're overdoing it with, like, you know, trying to just focus on just our external, and we're not focusing on our internal as much. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to go back to. We need to go back to our thoughts and understand that, look, your thoughts can be programmed, and all your actions spring from your thoughts. So if you're not in control of your own thoughts, right, then somebody's controlling everything that you're doing, or can control everything that you're doing. Can have you focus on skin color and all of this stuff, and you understand what I'm saying? And blind to the fact that all of these people are our children. Once we come to that understanding, that realization, we can deal with them. Because all you gotta do is just speak truthfully. You know what I mean? People don't have to be scared to talk about anything. Black people, white people, whoever. You know, as long as you're speaking the truth, just speak the truth. Because that's what makes it. That's what makes us free. So I don't have to come around white people, right, and be afraid to talk anything with them, because I'm gonna speak the truth regardless.
Oh yeah.
And they don't have to come around me and feel uncomfortable if they're gonna speak the truth. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how I deal with all people. I'm like, look, because I see when black people, we say a lot of different things. As soon as a white person come around, we change it. No, speak your truth. Speak your truth. They make you uncomfortable, but you don't make them uncomfortable. You see what I'm saying?
That's complete. But my whole energy will make, like, if you're not part of it, you're not gonna be able to be around me, because I'm that type of person. You're not gonna be able to. You're gonna feel like, yo, and I'm not. It's not me trying to drive you away. As I said, it's just you naturally. As I say, it's like a doctor, in it, like doctors and all of these people. That's what they do, innit? Certain people are scared of doctors. They're scared of hospitals. They're scared. Like, that's how it is, innit? I got that type of aura, innit?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, like, I look at it like this, man. We're living in a simulation, right? Or something similar to a simulation. And so we're gonna function, you know, there's certain limitations to how what we're gonna do under this particular, you know, mindset that we're in. You see what I'm saying? But to love yourself, because we, you know, these are terms that we have cultured ourselves into, right? You gotta love yourself. You gotta, you know, be proud of that. So that's fine. Love yourself. Because, you know, what's the point? We see what self-hatred is like. You know, when I don't love myself, then I don't see your life as being valuable. That's what it comes down to. It's not just about, okay, I love the fact that I'm black and that. No. I have to have a love for myself. I have to appreciate myself. I don't care if my nose is too big, or my lips are too big, or my skin is too dark, or my eyes, or whatever you don't like, or anybody don't like. You understand what I'm saying?
But is it too big though? It's good.
No, but I'm just saying, if people feel like that, then that's on them. You as an individual, you as the indivisible duality that you are, right? You can't let that affect you, because, like, look, Leo's talking about choice a while ago, and I was just trying to highlight that, look, maybe we did make a choice, because we're, as an energy, right? We didn't just begin when we came out the womb. We began when we went into the womb, and we didn't go into the womb in our, you know, the womb. I'm not talking about your mother's womb, because what went into your mother's womb, right, was your father's sperm. But your father's sperm, right? Your father is a mother and a father too. So that's two, you know what I'm saying? And all that came with that. So you go all the way back, right? Because as far as we know, they say that human beings came on the scene around 200,000 years ago, based on the evolution, the theory of evolution. Now, I'm not one that subscribes to a lot of stuff that they push, in that particular science, because you know I look at I don't think that our genesis, you know, begins the way they believe. I just don't. That's not what. I don't think that's how it goes. I think they're trying to create a cosmogony, right? Our cosmology to understand where and how everything came to be. But I look at it like this, man. All is mind. The universe is mental, right? And that explains it all. All is mind. The universe is mental. It's, you know, all of this is mental. And what go
like
ahead.
even on that, like in my head, the way how I see it, like I don't mind what form. I don't mind forms. Like they get tied up. How you're saying we came on eyes 200 and whatever, but that was a form. That was a form of us. But
yeah, all form
humans want to be.
Go ahead, brother. Finish your thought.
Humans want to be the significant thing, but as I said, like that has nothing to do with form. Like that has nothing to do with form. Had no form. All forms.
Thought just manifests itself. Yeah,
exactly. So
thought just manifests itself.
Yeah, I don't need to have a form to say, well, that's when this is like that. That's nothing to me. When humans came on,
I'm glad you went there, because that's kind of like what I was leaning towards. Like, all is mind, the universe is mental, right? All is mind, the universe is mental, right? So if you're a thought and I'm a thought, right? What's thinking us?
The mind.
The mind thinking
you said,
us.
didn't it?
Exactly. The mind is thinking us. And it's not whose mind, you know what I mean? Because the mind is just the mind, man. It's just the name for what you call God or whatever, you know what I mean? That unexplained intelligence, that infinite intelligence. You see what I'm saying? That is projecting all that you see and all that you can conceive and imagine. It's the mind. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it comes from. So I look at it like this then. You are me, like you say, I am you. Right? That's deep. A lot of people won't get that. You know what I mean? Because when you say I am you, it's not just, you know, exchange of like, you know, our features or nothing like that. It's like literally I am you.
Simple.
It's literal. But I am you. I'm also the trees. I'm also the sky. I'm also the sun. I'm also the moon. I'm all of it. I am you. That is the self. You see what I'm saying? That is the self. It's just that simple. I am the all. You know what I mean? Yeah, people get silly and they start talking about, well, if you're this, then you're that, then prove it. I can't prove something to you that you're not, you know, you can't comprehend. You can't even see it.
You don't even know. You don't know, but I'm supposed to prove it.
Yeah. How would you know when it's proven?
Somebody told me today, I am you is a catchphrase like Black Power. I said, what?
Right, well, you know,
I started to scratch my head, you know, like I started to scratch my head.
But even if it is, so what?
I was like, but I don't even understand. How would you even, like, why would you even put those two things? Is that how educated you have been on yourself?
They just don't understand the deeper depths of what you're saying. So like a lot of times people, right?
Go
ahead, brother.
That it's just because it's coming from me, not like it's just because it's coming from me, but because it's not coming from their own thought, because it's so like it's so profound, but it's not coming from
your thoughts, because it's not coming from your thoughts.
Exactly.
You can't say I am you and then separate yourself from them. You understand what I'm saying? So this is,
you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
No. This is what I'm trying to get to you. They don't understand the deeper depths of what you're saying, because they are you.
Yeah.
So they're a version of you that doesn't yet understand that they are you.
Yeah. True.
You see what I'm saying? Even the person that, even your woman in your bed right now is you.
Exactly.
Even your daughter, your son is you.
Me.
You. So if you mistreat them, you're mistreating who?
Myself.
You.
Myself. Yes.
It's deep. So sometimes when you come across different versions of yourself, right? You have to look at it and say, okay, you know what? Because there's a point in your life where you probably was just like that. You just don't remember right now.
No, I will. I still am that way. You know, like that. I still am that way.
Yeah. So you know, when I'm driving on the road at night, sometimes, man, and all these cars are in front of me, and I see them, man, I'm like, wow, all these different lives going in all these different directions, all these different stories, right? You have so many different. I mean, think about it. You have a unique perspective on the things that you've been through. I have a unique perspective on the things that I've been through. Your girl, my wife, my kids, you understand? Everybody in your building, everybody in the area, everybody in the world, all these different stories, right? But it's all you.
Mad.
It's your story. You see what I'm saying?
That's what makes it so beautiful.
And that's what makes it so beautiful. Exactly. Because like I said, like I'm a naturist, right? And I don't really even like to put labels on, because I just say it so people can understand that, look, the foundation for everything for me is dealing with nature. Right? Nature knows all, nature is all. You're not going to get away from it. And nature has a schedule for everything. You see what I'm saying? You don't plant a seed today and tomorrow it turns into a tree. It's a process. Everything is a process. So sometimes I come across people, and you know, it's not always a perfect situation, because like there are times when you have you're more level in your in how, you know, you're thinking, how you control your emotions. And the other times where you're irritated, you're frustrated, you know what I mean? You can be pulled here, you know what I mean? You're not rigid to the point where you just are one way all the time, regardless of what you think and what you believe or what you know. You know what I mean? There are times when you contradict yourself, and people try to use that to hold that against you, or to judge you, or to say, you understand what I'm saying? That's because they don't understand that that's how we are. That's how everything is. It's a balance. Balance is not everything is stable, but balance is counterbalance. You see what I'm saying? That's what balance is. So sometimes you're gonna up, sometimes you're gonna down. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you're gonna go against the very things that you speak or say or believe. Sometimes I have a very specific diet, but sometimes I'll go against it.
I cheat.
You understand what I'm saying?
I cheat.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even cheating. It's just like I just slipped. You know what I mean? And by the time I remember that, damn, I'm not supposed to eat this, I already ate a whole bunch of it already. You understand what I'm saying? Good. So it's like when you have this vast knowledge, right? Like you say, I am you. That's a universe of knowledge. You're saying in just a simple phrase. So when you have this vast knowledge, right? People sometimes they become so simple-minded because they can't see the vastness of what you're talking about. So they'll say stuff like, well, if I am you and so on and so forth, and you're the white man, and that, yeah, okay. So why are we fighting against him? Well, we have to fight against him. We're supposed to, and he's supposed to do what he's supposed to do, and that's what everybody's supposed to do, because it's balance. And because there's imbalance now, that's where the whole world that you see right now is gonna be an upheaval because of the imbalance. You see what I'm saying? When there's once the balance comes back, what do you think is gonna happen to the established order? It's gonna be destroyed.
Exactly.
It's gonna be destroyed. So it's whatever diseases in your body right now causing imbalance. When balance returns, everything that the disease had laid at the foundation will be wiped out. You see what I'm saying? So nature is about balance. That's it. It's about balance. You see? So all these things that people are looking at as weird and this and that is because there's imbalance, and the balance has to come back. It has to be balanced. There's too much destruction going on. You know what I mean? It's not even the way even the way we kind of like procreate and everything. It's out of whack. The whole thing is out of whack. You see what I'm saying?
Procreation is definitely out of whack.
It's out of whack because they've over-sexualized so much. Everything is so over-sexualized that's all people are focusing on.
even having children to keep the relationship, like how I was explaining to you and my friend, he's been together for 11 years, but they've got kids now, so it's like the kids are involved and you can't leave, but the relationship's over. Relationship's over, but you're still together because of the kids, and you're having more kids because you're together, innit? That's what happens when two people are together.
Yeah.
You
I
go,
mean, a lot of that is just like, you know, human. The habits that we form are strong. You know, we're beings of habit. You know what I mean? That's why we're basically addicted to everything.
we want
everything. No,
we
we are
want. I want.
No, I mean, you think about it. We're addicted to food, or certain kinds of foods that are either salty or sweet, right? Just like we're addicted to we can get addicted to drugs, right? Some of us are addicted to women. Some of us are addicted to hanging out. Some of us are addicted to just like, you know, causing trouble and being negative, right? So we're creatures of habit. And it's not something that you just like. Sometimes people act like, you know, they can just up and, you know, it's done. And some people have developed that kind of habit where they can do that because they've trained themselves to do that, to be, you know, cold and callous and just, you know, they could up and walk away. But doesn't mean they're not affected. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean they're not affected. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the reason why a lot of us don't fall back on our swords is because the other person, you know, after a while, they just give up on trying. You know what I'm saying? So I look at relationships, I look at life, I look at everything, I look at it through the eyes of nature, and I just see like, look, you know what I mean? People get programmed into a lot of different things, man. A lot of different things. Like you meet your girl and she start telling you what she like and what she don't like, and she's programming you. And you're programming her, and your friends are programming you, and you programming them. You see what I'm saying? Your parents don't program you. So you know, if you're religious, you don't, if somebody says something against your Jesus, you get upset. But you don't know anything about Jesus. You haven't read any books outside of the Bible about Jesus. You haven't done any research about it. You understand what I'm saying? But you just program, oh, this is how I was raised, but you don't know why you believe or why your parents believe what they believe. You see, and this is where the whole culture is law thing comes in. It's all tied in because it's a culture that basically has shackled you to a certain way of you know, like a particular lifestyle, customs, you know what I mean, way of living, right? So sometimes I hear people talk about like the nature of certain diseases that are illnesses that are hereditary, and I sit back and I think if it's really hereditary or if it's not cultural. You know, I'm a indigenous. I call myself an indigenous ex-American, right? And yeah, I'm gonna lay it out like that because indigenous ex-American, right? So in the culture there, we cook we cook fish a certain way, we cook chicken a certain way, we jerk it, we brown stew it, you know, we fry it. We do the same thing with fish and different kind of vegetable. We have different ways that we cook certain things. We have ackee and sawfish as a morning staple. We make porridge, XYZ, right? Now, some of those things that we do for our esculents or for our food, right, can make us sick. So now if my mother had high blood pressure and her mother had high blood pressure, right, nobody's looking at the fact that maybe it's based on how, you know, we eat, the culture that we're coming out of. So because, you know, her mother, she grew up under her mother, so, you know, there's a certain way that they ate. Then I'm growing up under her, so there's a certain way I'm going, until I break out of that. You understand what I'm saying? They make you think that, look, if your mother is this way, you're going to be that way too. And it's not necessarily always the case. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of it is cultural. You know what I mean? Because if they're eating bad, you're going to be, that's what you're going to grow up to be. You're going to grow up to eat bad. You know what I'm saying? You're going to grow up to eat bad unless you come across a different example, or you're just a prodigy, a precocious prodigy who figure out stuff for yourself and determine that, you know what, I don't want to eat this stuff. I don't want to go here. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? and then you program yourself out of the stuff, the self-destruction, because it's two different things. You're either self-constructing or you're self-destructing, and most of us are self-destructing. You know what I mean? We're not building. We're actually destroying, and we're actually destroying ourselves, and we don't really understand it. You know what I mean? We're on a self-destructive path, and we have to get off of that and stop making excuses. You know, I have friends that smoke black and mild, and I tell them every day, I'm like, man, you got to get off of that. I could see your future. You see what I'm saying? I could see in 10, 15, 20 years, like, you know, you won't be able to breathe. You know what I mean? But they can't, and they can't see it because, like, they're addicted to it right now. You understand what I'm saying? And it's hard because the stuff inside of it is programming their cells to say, give me this, give me this, give me this. You see what I'm saying? Just like the computer.
That's what I was gonna like sort of bring it into the closing sort of things, because there's even a culture happening inside of us. You know,
yes.
like, so it's like there's things like how you said we'll get addicted, but it's not even us. Like we're not even addicted. It's our body.
Your whole body, yeah.
Our body's such alive, it wants to do something now, and it tells us to do it, and then we think that it's us doing it.
But I'm gonna show you something, because what you're saying is such a deep thing, brother. Like your body is not just one thing. Even though you're sitting in front of the computer as one, you know, composed entity. If we were to like break you down to your smallest elements, we'd see that you are trillions upon trillions of cells who have harmonized themselves together to form your features and all these different things, right? And just like the world, like I was saying, everything outside is happening inside. So all these different cells are carrying all these different functions. There's a cell inside of you that has your personality, the same personality that you have right now. You understand what I'm saying? There's cells inside of you that have the other personalities that you have. You know what I mean? That's why you can go from being cool to being angry to being this to being that. You know, all these different things, they shapeshift. It could turn your face from being pleasant to being unpleasant. They can make water run out your eyes and make your whole body shake. You understand what I'm saying? They can cause severe pain in different areas because, you know, something that you're feeding them is killing them or harming them, and you know what I mean? And they should boom.
Yeah.
I look at us as human beings on a metaphysical level, but on a physical level, I look at us as what you're looking at in terms of seeing me right now and me seeing you. You're looking at brain. You're looking at a brain. Because the brain, the reason why we always go like this when we say the mind, is because this is the modem that connects you to the mind. This is not the mind. This only connects you to it. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you hear them talk about the pituitary gland. Some people say it's the seat of the soul. It connects you to the universe. But your brain is the first thing that forms when the cell of the egg and the sperm begin to, you know, to divide or whatever, right? And then your brain grows everything around it. It grows the heart. It grows the organs. It grows the bones, right? That become your skeleton. Then it grows everything, your features, you know, all of this. So your whole entire thing is a brain. It's not just in your head, because really and truly, think about it, right? If you took everything and open up everything, you'd see that this reason why it's folded up and wrinkled up in your head is because it's folding itself. It's huger than what it really is. But because this is such a tiny thing, it has to fold itself over and over and over. And that's where all the wrinkles come from. But then it stretches itself down your spine and down your arms and down your legs. And then it sends signals to say, lift the leg, lift the arm. You understand? That's the brain. And the whole skin is the brain. Because all your senses are just sensors. That's all they are. Sensors. Sensors for what? Sensors for the brain, which is what you are. Right?
Imagine though, I'll be telling people that we fell out of our heart. I think everything comes from the heart.
The heart?
Yeah, you see, when you go into your heart, it's mad. I swear down, like all of our energy, all of our, like our heart's got more brain cells than our brain.
Your whole thing is the brain. The whole thing is the brain. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Everything.
Don't get confused with what's up here.
Yeah.
This is not the brain.
Yeah.
The whole thing is the brain.
Yeah. Exactly.
So if you're talking about the heart, the liver, all of it is the brain.
Yeah.
The whole thing is the brain, and the brain is such an amazing I don't want to say creature or whatever, but let's call it a creature. Amazing creature, right? Check what the brain does. And it's aquatic too. It's an aquatic creature. That's why your body has to be 75% water. Because your body is just a portable fish tank for the brain. It has to be in water. Your brain never, can you see it? Yeah. So the whole thing, the whole thing is the brain. And once you understand that your senses are senses, because the brain doesn't have any eyes. It doesn't have any mouth, nose, or whatever, right? If you was to just remove all of this, the exterior of your body, you'd see that there is no eyes there, there's no mouth, there's no nose, there's no ears, right? So these things are just sensors for that, because when the light hits your eyes, right, sends a signal to the brain, and the brain interprets that signal and then rebroadcasts it and say, this is what you're seeing. So basically, what you're seeing is not coming from outside of you, it's coming from inside of your head, like a projector.
Exactly.
It's happening for all of us because we're all connected on this network. You understand what I'm saying? And so we all seeing the same things in a certain way or whatever, right? There's no ears. It's just little tiny bones in there that once sound hits and it vibrates, sends a signal to the brain interprets that as voice and music and growling, or a gunshot, or you understand what I'm saying? Same thing with your tasting, same thing with your smelling,
so
same
memory
thing with your skin.
And that's why
skin is your largest sensor.
Yeah, that's why we're creatures of habit, innit? Because it's all built on memory. If I've heard that before, then I'm gonna relate it into something that I've heard. But if it's something new, then like say it's a new sound, like how you just said gunshots and all of these sounds that we know. If it's a new sound, you might not even hear it because you.
There you go, and it just locks it in. Boom. You're a supercomputer, man. That's what the brain is. The brain is a supercomputer. You understand what I'm saying? And it can be programmed, and we prove it time and time again. And this is where we get our culture and our law and all of the stuff we get from. It's from all the programming that we're constantly doing, right, to generate certain results. Because nothing is just happening chaotically. It's order. It's order to everything.
All this chaos. Yeah.
It's order. You understand what I'm saying? So
you know what? Even a thing where all of us collectively, it's chaotic, all right, but obviously all of us collectively, we're seeing the world, and the world's not shaking and all of these things. It's all stable. Everything's stable because it's an ordered chaos, isn't it? Like chaotic because it's all individuals. We all can make whatever. Like how you said,
it looks chaotic. It looks chaotic because you can't see the pattern and the order in it.
Yeah,
but even in the world, right? If you take the history of the world, you can. It's possible to forecast where we're going. Very, very possible, because we can look back 1,000 years, 500 years, 10,000 years, right? And we can see based on the societies that were around where we've ended up. And so we can also now project, just like we can project where we're going to end up. You know what I mean? In the next 100, 200, just like they can tell you in the next 30 to 40 years, right? White people in America is going to be the minority. You think they don't know that?
Yeah, they know it.
So if they know that, right, and they don't want to be the minority, what do you think they're going to do about it? You think they're going to sit by and hope that doesn't happen? No. People who are in power and who don't want to lose power will do anything to keep it. But some things, there's nothing they can do to stop it. You understand? They're going to try. They're going to probably kill a lot of people, which they've been doing for many, many years. In America, I don't know what the rate is in the UK, but from the studies, the little research that I've done, and this is a controversial thing as well, but I don't care. People can take it controversial however they want to take it, because I'm not, I don't follow none of that nonsense, right? Since the 60s or the late 60s to this day, over 13 million black babies have been killed in abortion clinics. 13 million. That's the size of several nations.
Easily.
You see what I'm saying? And we make up all these silly fucking notions about when life begins. Oh, it's a fetus, it's not a life. It's a this, it's not. That's nonsense, man. Your life don't begin when you come out the womb. Your life begin when you go into the womb. So really and truly, when you come out the womb, if you're a full-term baby, you are already 9 months old. How dare somebody? You see, that's a spell. You see what I'm saying? That is a spell. Because you're counting your age 9 months shorter than what it really is. Or 7 months or whatever time you came out the womb. You see what I'm saying? Your life don't begin when you come out. You was breathing, you was hearing, you was feeling, you was eating, you was doing all of that while you was inside your mother. Everything. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm telling you, these people are young. And they don't understand, you know, how comprehensive and complete the whole thing is. In ancient African culture, what they call the thing they call African spirituality, is really like quantum physics, man. It is really like quantum physics. It's just that we said it in a simple way that they're using all these complicated equations to explain stuff that we just said, you know, life has never lived and death has never died. You know what I mean?
Simple. I am you.
You know,
it's all about simple. It's simple.
I mean, death has never lived and life has never died.
Never died. Yeah. No, I know. You said it already on the channel.
Yeah. So you say that right there. Now they come up with all these crazy equation called string theory or this theory or whatever to explain the same things that Africans had said thousands and thousands of years ago.
As I say, it's an ego thing to me. It's a thing where they wanna say it before somebody else. They wanna.
What it is this, brother. You know your children, right? Your children are watching you. You know, I remember hearing once that children are actors and they act out what they see in adults, right? And take, for example, when we were in Europe, because, you know, a lot of people don't yet know or don't yet understand that white people, the people they call white people, right? They weren't strangers to us. And we weren't strangers to them. We were in Europe before, up until, let's take 7-Eleven, right? 7-Eleven to 1492. That's over 700 years, almost 800 years, right? We were there for. You think they didn't know who we were? But people don't know that history. They don't know that history as well. So everything starts from 1492 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue and, you know, gave civilization to me and you. That's what they claim, right? Columbus, a Spaniard. Where were the Moors? The Moors were in Spain for over 700, almost 800, some say even 900 years, right? Civilizing these people, you know, building institutions, teach them how to do many different things, intermarrying, having children with them. When the Moors paradigm ended, right? All those people that were left were our children. Just think about the fact that they say we're in America now, right? Under all these Europeans for the last 400 years. And in those 400 years, look at us now. Look at what we're doing. We're intermarrying. We're in the politics. We become president, senators, all these. It's the same thing happened with them. No different. The same exact thing happened with them. So when they got a chance, they didn't want to just be like second to us. They wanted to be in a position that we were occupying. So when everything fell apart in 1492, when we gave up the last stronghold we had in Granada, right? They followed us here. Because Christopher Columbus followed the Moors to this part of the world where we had already been. And that's why everybody, look at it. Mexicans, what kind of language Mexicans speak?
Spanish.
Are they Spanish?
Nope.
Exactly, but that's the language they speak. Because when the Spanish came here, they were coming, the Moors, they had the Moorish influence all that time. You think they just, after 800 years, they just, you know, forgot about the Moors? No. That was our influence. Those are our children. They want to have their own empire. And so when they started the empire, they came here, right? They went to Jamaica, Spanish Town, right? What do you think that all of that, they found out about these places because we told them. They were our children.
I definitely know that. Trinidad. Port of Spain.
All of that.
Capital.
You see what I'm saying? Because the Moors were there, and when the Moors, when the Empire of Morocco basically was going through whatever it was going through, right? The Spanish Empire rose up. But what was the Spanish Empire composed of? If we was there for 800 years, think it was just composed of them. It was composed of people that look like me and you too. Light-skinned, dark-skinned people, you know, with black features, biracial people. They call them biracials today.
Yeah, mulattoes.
Italy, southern Italy, and Spain, in certain places, they have the hairs are dark and they have dark features. They still celebrate a lot of things that the Moors did there. So we just got to know the collective history. Once we have our understanding of the collective history, then we'll know that, look, we were enslaving them before they were enslaving us.
Easily.
People don't know that. We were enslaving them before they were enslaving us. They probably learned a lot of that stuff from us. You see what I'm saying? We just don't want to, like, in a lot of ways, like.
You just said, remember, yeah. Brother, you said how they're our children. So, and you also explained how the children act out like what the adults are doing.
Yes.
They saw us. They saw us. They learned all of this royalty.
All of this from us. Everything, all the civilization that you're seeing, everything, all these buildings you see over there, those old buildings, those are inspired from us.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? People just like, yeah, we just don't understand the history in a complete sense. Yeah. And because we don't understand the history in a complete sense, we try to we create feel-good history where, you know, oh, we're the good guys and they're the bad guys. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We talk about ancient Egypt as if when they went into wars to conquer, into lands to conquer lands and people, they went in there with ankhs. No, they went in there with swords and shields and they killed people, and innocent people died, just like people die everywhere, every day. You understand what I'm saying? Stop romanticizing it to the point where, like, you know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, we have to look at everything like, in a realistic sense.
Where did this so-called evil germ, like, where did this come from? If everything was so harmonious,
evil and good are the same force. The same. It's like a coin, two different sides. So when you talk about God and the devil, it's the same force. You know, if you're gonna claim a God, you gotta claim. You cannot all of a sudden act like the devil is something separate. Because where did the devil come from? If God created everything, where did the devil come from? And if God created the devil, then who's to blame for what the devil does?
And that's what they don't like, them sort of things. They don't even. They put God and the devil at the same pedestal.
Everything is
God has never defeated the devil.
Everything is about balance, and balance is counterbalance. And so it's just a lot of spells that we under. Even when we talk about God, and we talk about God as if it's something separate from us. God cannot. If God is separate from you, that can't be God. How can that be God if it's separate from you?
Crazy.
That doesn't make any sense. People talk about the man upstairs. What man? What the hell are you talking about? Some man sitting on a throne that when judgment day come, you're gonna stand. What the hell are you talking about? You're talking about, then they tell you that God is coming back. From where? Where the hell is God coming back from?
Where did he go?
You tell me that God, and they tell me that God is omnipresent, right? How can God be omnipresent, be everywhere, and then you say he's coming back? If God is already everywhere, and listen, now I'm even saying he and him and father and all this stuff, right? These are spells. You understand what I'm saying? These are spells.
It's true.
Because one breath they say God is a spirit, and then the next line says, and those that believe in him, right? So spirit and in him, right, must believe in him in spirit and in truth. So a spirit is a gender.
Yeah, it's called a male agenda.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. No, that's anthropomorphism. We know that, you know, you use in human terms to explain whatever it is.
But they don't say it. But
they don't say it. Exactly. 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 God is the all. You can't add to it. You can't. That's my thing. God is the all. Right?
Simple.
God is you, God is me, God is the trees, the sun, God is all.
Simple.
Take it or leave it alone. And just like ancestors says, all is mind, the universe is mental. Now, what they were doing in the ancient world was they codified things. Like I said in the beginning, law is about codes. You know what I mean? And they don't do anything until they make a law. They pretty much every country, they don't take any actions before they make a law because it's a code. Why you need to create a code? Because that's how you initiate the programming.
And that's what's crazy. In my head, I still say like the respect thing, because that's what I put on my channel. I say no respect, like, but people still take that as some like, yo, like I'm gonna piss in your mouth or something. Like it's not that deep. I'm not saying that. Like
you're just saying like you're not partial to anybody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give one person a granted thing over another person, and that's what they've done. For me to make a law, that means I'm over you. I have to be over you for me to set a law. Me and you can't be on the same level, and you set a law for me. Like that's crazy.
Like if man can make law, you can make laws too, because you're a man, and we make laws every single day for our lives. Like, you know, regardless of what you call it, it's a law. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because it's following the whole concept that, look, you know, if you make a decision to do something, that's like you creating a law. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what you do. You just created a law. No matter how the law isn't just like, it's not some fancy thing that you have to like, oh, wherefore this and wherefore that, you know, whereas this. No, it doesn't have to have that. You could create laws. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going here. I'm not going there. I'm going to speak to him. I'm going to speak to her. I'm going to read this. These are laws. You see what I'm saying? Codes. You codify yourself. You know, and your DNA is a code. The whole thing is a code. You see what I'm saying? Let there be light, and then there was light. That's a law.
That's a law. Simple. That's a law.
That's a law. And so coming back, tying it all together with culture, you know, we just have to like, we have to reinvigorate the culture that can save the planet and save all of us in the process. Because I'm telling you, if we don't stop the virus, if we don't stop the thing that's causing imbalance, nature, the planet is going to kill all of us just to get rid of it. Yes, everything. You know what I mean? And when I say kill, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to cease to exist, because like you're not.
You've always been here. Yeah.
Always been here. You'll always be here. But as far as like the paradigm of what you understand, because you see people come and go all the time. And what people got to understand is that, you know, everything on this planet has to function within a certain balance. Just like our bodies, you know, homeostasis has to be maintained. If you get a virus right now, your temperature either going to go up or go down. That's what's going on the earth. Temperature is out of whack. Last year, I believe, was the hottest year on record. The first half of last year was the hottest year on record since they've been keeping temperature measurements.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now watch what's going to happen this year. Watch what's going to happen next year. Watch what's going to happen to all the years to come. So now they're not even calling it, you know, just, they're not saying frequent, they're calling it severe weather, extreme weather. They have all these new terms because there's things are happening that they've never seen happen before. And it's because of the imbalance. You know how much animals they kill every day, man? Do you know how much people are dying every day from cancers and all these different things? We are the children of nature. This planet is a garden. I'm gonna break that down and then we could close it up. In the Bible, which is, you know, I don't wanna start into arguments with anybody who's an anti-Bible person, because, like, you know, they gotta understand that that's our knowledge, that's our science too. Even though they tampered with, still our science, right? So in the Bible, it says that they talk about the Garden of Eden. You've heard this, right? Now, a lot of people just run with that, the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Eden. And I slow down, I say the Garden of Eden is two different things. You're talking about two different things. There's a garden and there's a place called Eden. So where is Eden and what is the Garden of Eden? Now, in my own like meditations, I've come to believe that Eden is the universe, right? Or maybe this solar system. And the Garden of Eden is the planet Earth. And what this garden grows is life. You see what I'm saying? That's what it grows, life. So the Earth is the Garden of Eden. And it's not going to be destroyed. We will be destroyed. but the garden will not be destroyed. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to be protected, and there's different ways to protect this garden. It doesn't have to be people taking up guns to fight and keep, but you know, if nature has to do that, has to send that program to your mind, to your consciousness, and then one day you just can't completely lose it, and you find yourself joining the army or joining something or some movement, and you understand what I'm saying? Because that's what happens. Like when you look at the history of the world, you see all these wars that take place. These all this stuff is in the hands of nature, man. It's cleaning and cleansing and, you know, replenishing and doing all this stuff. And so man thinks he's in control, but he's not in control. Nature is in control. You see what I'm saying? You can't tell nature what to do. It doesn't go along with your notions of what's good or what's bad and who should live and who should. It doesn't work like that. It's a system. And they've been killing its children. They've been destroying this planet. The air is, every day I wake up, they're spraying the sky. Every single day. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Like, this is a garden, right? And just like a garden, you spray the bugs and, you know, you rain, you water, you know, the rain is like the water that they water, you know, so all this stuff, it has comparative qualities, you know what I mean, that you can use and say, you know, this is similar to this and this is similar to that. But I believe that the earth is a garden. The earth is the garden, and the universe or the solar system that we're in right now is what you call Eden.
That's real. That's real. Because that brings it all the way through to the point where nature is law.
Nature is law. Nature is law. There you go, brother. Nature is law. It's the law and it's the culture and the law.
Yeah.
Because it has
the only culture we need, and it's the only culture we need,
and it has the law that, look, everything must be balanced. That's the law. Balance must be maintained. Balance must be maintained by any means necessary. Exactly. So if it takes nature another 1,000 years, you may not have that much time, but nature, you know what I mean? You know, we could look back through time and see all of the civilizations that thought they was going to be forever, and they're gone. They're dust. They're beneath the deserts of the world. They're beneath the oceans of the world, because nature is going to do what nature does. You're not going to stop it. You see what I'm saying? You're here killing off all these animals, and so much things have been exterminated or extinct. You know, things that's been here forever. You're killing off of the children of nature. You understand what I'm saying? We are the children of nature. And those of us who understand that know what I'm talking about. Because not everybody understands it completely. You know what I'm saying? And so people just think they can do whatever they want to do. No, you cannot do whatever you want to do. This planet runs under law. And eventually that law is going to catch up to each and every one of us.
That's what I'm saying, family. Me, I think we're gonna have to wind down, cause we been hitting it. I see your lights all went dim and all of that. So we went in, my brother. And people, as I said, subscribe to M9NDtv as always. Go check out all of the videos on there, cause you got enough stuff over there too. Man.
Oh man, I got a few things, man. I'm trying to get back into the groove of just like doing more shows, more interviews and things. Sometimes I just have so much stuff going on that my plate is full, man. And so I'm gonna, you know, I appreciate that. I want everybody also to make sure y'all subscribe to Virtue, because I'm gonna put this up on my channel. Of course, I'm gonna download it off your thing and put it up on my channel as well. But I love talking with Virtue, man. Virtue, you know, sometimes pulls some things out of me I don't really share with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? But this is a good space. It's a safe space. You know what I mean? It's a non-judgmental space. It's an open-minded space. And so, you know, I want to encourage you to just keep on doing what you're doing, because, you know, it has a lot of value.
Yeah, man. It's hard. You know how it is, man. When
I already know, man.
And then people's trying to attack you, like, yo, like how I explained, it's something simple. I'm saying something simple. They're attacking me, and I know they're not attacking me, but I'm like, yo, why are you trying to do that, man? You might as well just help me, man. Let's both build. But people don't like building and all of that. But that's a whole another story. We gonna come at you again. And hopefully I'll come over to your channel.
Yes, indeed. So y'all look out for that. We're gonna try tomorrow, as a matter of fact. We're gonna do the reverse. I'm gonna sit in his chair, and I will let him just I'm gonna let Virtue get, you know. We just gonna do a nice little interview tomorrow, man. But much love to you, my brother. Thank you again for the opportunity for coming on and share with the family, man. Make sure y'all go check me out on Facebook, TEHUT-9, TEHUT, the number 9, Instagram as well, same thing. M9NDtv, of course. Mind is spelled with the number 9 instead of the letter I. So just, you know, put that in YouTube, M9NDtv. I guess you could put it in the description, Virtue. So they could check that out. But other than that, man, much love and respect to you, brother. Thank you so much, and tomorrow.
All right. Take care, family.